everybody, it's History Gal, and I wanted to give you an updated tour of my neighborhoods in The Sims 4 because I have changed a lot from the first video I posted about it. This is my main game, and I have a historical game that I'm going to make a video for later, but this is my modern day Sims, and this is a place where my Sim, my husband's Sim, all my friends and family can interact with all the rich and famous people of the world, because what else is The Sims really for? In this game, I have Willow Creek and Brindleton Bay representing England. I've got Oasis Springs and Del Sol Valley representing California. I've got Newcrest representing Sweet Old Home, Kentucky. Indescript Suburban Life is in Magnolia Promenade. All the other cool Europeans so far that I could find are in Windenburg, New York people, Chicago people, and Washington, D.C. people, so big city, big players, are in San Myshuno, and then I've got the coolest Canadians in Forgotten Hollow. So let's go to Willow Creek first and give you an update. Also, this is the cat, and she really wants to be a part of the video. She's timed it every single time from when I got to this part. Her name's Izzy, and she just wants to love her. This is Willow Creek, and this represents central London. So as a part of that, we of course have to have the Queen and her castle in Buckingham Palace. Behind her is the Prince of Wales and his wife Camilla. Uptown, we have the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, along with Prince Harry and Meghan. All of the babies are accounted for, including the newest Archie Harrison. We've got the Beckhams, because they think that they're royalty, but not quite. And the Ramseys, because they're best friends, and they think they've all gone to each other's houses in real life, as well as in my game. Down the bottom of the hill, we have all of the musicians, and then we have actors. So these are people who you would find in central London that are pretty fun. You've got Adele and her husband, Simon Konecki, even though they're divorced in real life. They're not in my game. We've got Elton John and his husband, their two kids. We've got Sia and Maddie Ziegler, so they can dance and make music all day long. And then right here, we have One Direction and the Beatles. So we've got two separate genres of boy band, the OG and their followers, to be kind of funny. Up here in the literary circle, to be kind of awesome, who else is the most famous British author if it isn't J.K. Rowling? So you have J.K. Rowling living in a big house with Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson, and across the street from them, the Weasleys, a major creation of hers, are living in the flesh. To kind of bounce off of them and to connect with the lower neighborhood, we have Ed Sheeran right next to them. He's acted in a couple things. And next to them, we have the Jonas Brothers, Nick Jonas with his new wife, and Joe Jonas living with Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner. Moving right along to the rural areas, we still have Princess Anne, Prince Edward, and Prince Andrew. All of them living in houses that are pretty indicative of the kind of houses they live in. But then I've added a lot of people to this neighborhood. So, for example, down here we have Liz Hurley. Right here we've got Gerard Butler. We've got Hugh Grant, the guys from Top Gear, Kate Winslet, and Stella McCartney. All of these are people who are famous, and they are known for living in kind of or having a house at least, in the rural areas of beautiful England. We also have some pretty adorable places to hang out if you wanted to go around. Really upgraded versions of the vet, really cool versions of the lighthouse, and I left it out, but if you wanted to, you could even go to the British Museum and check out some real antiquities, or go over to Harrods if you were to be in central London. Now, those are British celebrities, so I thought it would be pretty hilarious to have two places where American celebrities are also going to live. So Del Sol Valley really represents Los Angeles for me, just like it's meant to in the game. And the kind of people I have living here are Steven Spielberg, and the old lady they had living here to represent an older, kind of done with her acting career, but still respected. She was nobody, so I had to move in Meryl Streep. She's got some dogs. She lives her best life. Then up on the big hill for LA, I thought, who better to include than Elon Musk, because he's crazy, but he's brilliant, and he's in everybody's business. Down in the streets of LA, kind of living their best lives, you've got Emily Blunt and John Krasinski living across the street from the Try Guys, and then because I'm the truest of fans, Fiona Apple is living in my LA. I haven't really changed a lot with their stuff. I did put in an elementary school in this neighborhood, but for the most part, I've kind of like updated their buildings to the cooler stuff from the gallery. And then in the suburbs, or, Calabasas, if you will, I've got the other American royalty, which is, of course, the Kardashian clan and their friends and family. So we've got Chris's house, the matriarch of the house, living with her son Rob and his daughter Dream. You've got Courtney, and we've really got to get rid of that guy because they're over, but the baby True is still there. Kim Kardashian and her family, I really have to update them and make Chicago a little bit older and give them a new baby, Psalm. And then down here you've got Kylie and Kendall, then the oldest sister, their dad, and then I've got Mark Zuckerberg living out in the burbs. I've got Black China living out here with them. And then to be kind of funny, we also have the main characters from Weeds, so that we have a reason to have a dispensary. But you've got the Botwins, you've got the Hodes, you've got the Wilsons, and then over here you've got James's family and the Reyes family. We also have the dad from Breaking Bad living with Jesse, an awesome Aladdin's Agrabah Bazaar to kind of represent a piece of Disneyland, a really fancy spa, a really fancy restaurant, a really fancy nightclub, and of course a modern museum. Moving right along to Windenburg, which for me is international. This is meant to represent Europe in general. So I've got French celebrities, I've got German celebrities, I've got Italian celebrities. And down here is meant to be kind of like my international parliament, if you will. So I've got Angela Merkel living inside of a giant parliamentary building from Berlin. I've got Theresa May living in number 10 Downing Street. I've got Macron living in just a French pavilion. And I've got Putin living in a Russian apartment block. Up here, I've got the Sarkozys living in a suburban sprawl since they're retired. I've got the actual Swedish royal family as well as the Spanish royal family. I've got Marion Cotillard living up here near the Pope. And then I've got the royals of Monaco as well as the Clooneys and Cristiano Ronaldo. Really rounded out. Of course, I've got really updated, modernized gyms and spas for these guys as well. And then moving to San Myshuno, these are American political dynasties. And also we've got a little bit of comedians going and things of that nature. So down here we've got Key and Peele. We've got Trey Pucker. I don't know who he's supposed to be. Matthew Beavers. Oh, these are the Broad City boys. That's the point. Okay, so they're all comedians. And then I've got Luke Cage and Jessica Jones living across the street from Jon Stewart. I've got an actual Jennifer Lopez is living near John Oliver, and they're living across from the Mullers, which is one of my legacy family, the one family I can't cheat with. Over here I've got Beyonce and Jay-Z living with their daughter and their twins. I've got Samantha Bee in this building. And then over here we've got Tiffany Trump is living in the same building as Stephen Colbert. Sarah Jessica Parker and her husband live across the street from Jeremy DeSantos. Oh, these are the people from Broad City. Because then I've got the girls from Broad City over here. So we've got Abby Jacobson and Alana Wexler. Up here I've got just my family I can cheat with, the Gaines family, and then over here are kind of like my political dynasties. So I've got Donald Trump and his family in this tower, followed by Ivanka Trump and her family in this tower, Trump Jr. on the other side, and then I've got Obama's living across the hall from Clinton's. And then just to make kind of a joke about it, I have this family called Presidential Pitfalls, and it's Robert Mueller living with Monica Lewinsky. I thought that would be kind of funny. Moving right along to Canada, I'm going to do Lexington last. I've got some famous Canadian celebrities as well as a friend of mine who is from Canada. So we've got Justin Bieber, Celine Dion, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Trudeau. I thought that Canada, being with pines and mountains and rivers, really kind of matched Forgotten Hollow, so that's why they live there. Last but not least is Newcrest, which is meant to be Lexington. So this is where my house, my friends' houses are at. We have a Taco Bell down the street because it's my husband's favorite. And then we've got people who are from Kentucky that you may not know. So people like Johnny Depp, William Shatner, and Jennifer Lawrence all have houses. I have a dispensary, which, or not dispensary, excuse me, a distillery in Woodford Reserve. I've got a restaurant called Ramsey's. I've got Posh Salon and Spa, which is actually a really fancy salon here in Lexington. I have a University Arts Center. I have the bar and the Gilded Cage. It's a gay bar here in Lexington, and a really fancy high school, as well as Woodland Park, which is one of the best parks to go to here in Lexington. Finally, but not least, I've got just this indescript area that's a shopping mall and a bakery, a comic shop, and a bank so that my Sims can go get money before they have to go buy a house. That's everything for my modern game, and I'll come back at you next with a gentle quick tour of my historical Sims as well. Thanks so much.